Tonight's program, hopefully you're going to walk out of here with a little bit more information and a clearer picture of how CCP will work for your son or daughter if you're interested in participating. As Lisa had indicated, my program is kind of geared for Lakeland specifically, but the premise is relevant for all the different schools that are present tonight. So what is College Credit Plus? So College Credit Plus is the dual credit enrollment program that the state of Ohio participates in, and it allows students any grades between 7th and 12th to participate in this program, and it allows them to earn college credit and high school credit simultaneously. So we'll talk a little bit about credits and numbers in just a few minutes, but a 3 credit hour college course, a 3 semester hour course, equates to 1 full high school credit. One of the big premises of how this program works is that students must be deemed college ready. All of the schools that are here tonight have a little different spin on what that means, so we'll go into that specifically and how it relates to Lakeland. And I guess I want to make sure that you understand CCP classes, even though majority of students participate during the traditional school year, fall and spring, it's also an option for your son or daughter during the summer. So we'll go into that in just a moment. So CCP opportunities for your son or daughter can be here at Perry. Lakeland is the partner school for Perry High School, so we offer a number of courses physically here at Perry High School that are college coursework taught either by Lakeland faculty or by Perry High School teachers that have the credentials to be considered adjunct faculty at Lakeland. You can come out to Lakeland, you can do classes online or any combination thereof. So there's lots of opportunities for your son or daughter. So it's really important, I wanted to make sure you understood a little bit more about what CCP looks like at Lakeland. We have 1,500 CCP students at Lakeland that are College Credit Plus that are enrolled in high school and college simultaneously. Of those 1,500 students, 81 students are from Perry High School. So I wanted to make sure you had kind of a quantitative figure of what that looks like. 23% of all Lakeland students are CCP. We have about 6,500 students in our population. We have 36 different high schools that we work with. 80% of CCP students attend CCP part-time. So basically they're involved in their high school coursework and their college coursework. So they're splitting their day in some way, shape, or form. 32% of CCP students only do classes at their high school. I had mentioned earlier that there are 81 Perry High School students participating in CCP at Lakeland. 37 of those students are only doing classes here at Perry High School. Perry and Mentor High School are 2 schools that we partner with that offer a number of different choices for your son or daughter. So it's nice to have that opportunity to do some things here at Perry and at Lakeland as well. We're very proud at Lakeland that we have close to 100 students every year. We have about 800 students that graduate from Lakeland, but 100 of those students are College Credit Plus students that earn their college degree before they graduate from high school. We are the most prevalent school that have that population in the entire state of Ohio. So we're very, very proud that we work very closely with our CCP students to encourage their success. I guess the other thing on that schematic, most of our students that participate in CCP, 49% of those students are in 12th grade, and then 38% are juniors. Even though it's available for 7th through 12th grade, the younger grades, we don't have as many students participate in CCP from 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. CCP students on our campus and also all the campuses that are present here today, they are considered a college student. So what that means for them is that they have the same benefits and advantages of being a Lakeland student. So we have a career center on our campus. If your son or daughter wants to do CCP and they want to get a part-time job on campus, that's an option. Or if they want to look at an internship opportunity after they graduate from high school, all of those are options and available at Lakeland Community College. We also have a number of academic resources. We have a phenomenal learning center. So your son or daughter can get assistance in any of the classes that they might be taking at Lakeland, one-on-one tutoring, or we have something called a math resource center. So a student that's taking a math course, when they become a Lakeland student, it doesn't matter if they're doing that math course at Lakeland or potentially at the high school. If they're a college student with us, they're allowed to use our math resource center. So if they're taking a math class here and they need some help, that math resource center is available literally every single day, where the student can come and get one-on-one assistance with any math homework that they're going to be working with. So I have a number of students that use that for Algebra 2 or a statistics class. We also have a writing center. So if your son or daughter is taking an English class and need assistance with their very first college paper, a lot of students will utilize our writing center. That's available both in person and online. So that's a huge benefit. We also have a number of activities on our campus that CCP students participate in. We have clubs, we have activities, we have a great theater program. All of those are options for your son or daughter through CCP, with the one exception of athletics. We have intramurals that CCP students can participate in, but they're not eligible to actually play college level sports, okay? So I've used the term a few different times, college ready. What exactly does that mean? So basically, a college ready student needs to be able to think for themselves. They need to be a problem solver. They need to know how to study. And that's actually something that many of our CCP students initially struggle with. CCP will help them develop those necessary skills. They need to be able to ask questions and not be afraid to come up and say, I'm having trouble with something. Here at the high school students, you may never have struggled with a class. When you're being involved with a college level course, you may need some extra assistance, and you cannot be afraid to ask. You need to be able to manage your time wisely, especially if you're a student that's splitting your day. Let's say you're in band or you're an athlete. You want to start your day at Lakeland and end your day back here at Perry. It's going to be really important that you're going to be able to manage your time to not only travel back and forth, but to get all of your homework done. And it's a different environment when you come to a college level course. How is it different? Okay, your classmates literally will range in age from 13 to 85. Okay? If you look around in your high school class, if you're in a junior English class or senior math class, your populations are very, very similar. Here at the college level, it's going to be a wide variety of different types of people. Parents, when your son or daughter sets foot on our campus or physically here at Perry, your role changes. You can be an advocate for your son or daughter when they're in high school. You have to be a supporter when they're college level. They basically own their educational access. They need to come to our campus, and they need to be treated as a college level student. They're responsible for their success. And I know that's sometimes a hard transition for parents to make. That's why it's so important, students, that you need to be independent. You need to be able to speak for yourself. Coursework at Lakeland and here physically at Perry High School, most of the classes are twice a week for an hour and 15 minutes. Now, there's always exceptions to that, a science or a math course, but English classes are twice a week for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, you would do English. Tuesday, Thursday, you could do government. Okay? You are spending a lot less time in the classroom and more time doing things on the outside, reading your textbook, getting your work done, and so forth. So it's kind of a flip cycle from what you're used to here at the high school level. Tests and homework, I always use math as a great example. At the college level, there's no credit given for your homework. Okay, I'm sure here at the high school, they're checking and giving you a couple points for all of your homework assignments. At the college level, the expectation is you're doing the homework so you understand the material, but it's not going to be a grade buffer for you. You may have 2 or 3 exams for the entire semester, and that's it. That's a big adjustment for students. Study time, as I mentioned earlier, so much more of this is going to be done on the outside. You need to be able to get all of your work done. With the extra resources that are available at Lakeland and here at Perry High School, you can ask for assistance, but you need to be able to get it done on your own and make sure you're prepared for the next class meeting. Content, students, parents, Okay, the content of our college level courses will not be altered even though your son or daughter may be in 9th grade. It's adult content in many classes. Humanities, they may be reading things in English that they would never be exposed to here at the high school level. I think it's really important that you understand that. Think back when you were in college, the things that you were exposed to. If your son or daughter comes out to the college campus, they will be exposed to very similar things. I want you to understand that as you move forward in making the decision if your son or daughter is going to participate in the program. I guess the other thing too is accommodations. So here at Perry High School, if your son or daughter is on an IEP or a 504 plan, the accommodations are handled through the high school. If your son or daughter decides to do CCP either at Lakeland or here at Perry for a college level course, those accommodations must be coordinated through Lakeland Community College. And again, those accommodations, we want to make sure that the students are given the necessary skills to be successful, but they're going to be academic based. So again, that's a little bit of an adjustment for the parent role as you're considering doing CCP. Some other important things, students, parents, as you're thinking about this program, is making sure that all of the activities that your son or daughter wants to participate in can still fit in their school day. So band, I know sometimes is in the middle of the school day, and choir or art class. Keep in mind if there's something you want to participate in, we will work with you to try and make that happen. I guess the other thing is staying in the loop. For seniors, making sure you order your cap and gown and your invitations, or there's going to be a field trip. Those are the things that sometimes are a bit of a challenge doing CCP. So just make sure that you're listening to the morning announcements. You're keeping and checking in with your high school counselor so that you do not miss very important activities. And parents, the calendar never aligns, ever. Spring break at Lakeland this year is March 9th through the 13th, I believe. I know a lot of the high schools have spring break at the end of March this year. If you are doing things and you want to take a spring break trip, it's going to be very hard if your son or daughter is participating in CCP to accommodate that. Students, unless you talk to your faculty members in advance to make the arrangements so you're able to go. I know a lot of bands do summer trips, and I know, or spring break trips and baseball and softball teams. If you know you're going out of town during coursework and when you're at Lakeland, you need to work with your faculty member in advance. Talk to them the very first day. If it's a problem, we'll help you adjust your schedule. Majority of the time it is not. I guess communications is a key. Okay, so don't just tell them the day before you're leaving. Make sure they're well aware of the things that you need to participate in. The benefits, again, you're getting college coursework while you're still in high school. That's a huge benefit. You're getting a head start on your college degree. And that's a lot of the courses that you're going to be doing here potentially at Perry or at Lakeland are basic general education courses, and it doesn't matter what you plan to pursue. Your English, your math, your social studies, your science, all of those are basic core requirements. It's nice to get a jump start on that. It's going to help students understand the expectations of a college level course before you go to school. Again, a little bit more about learning how to study. And of course, the cost savings is phenomenal. Many students use CCP to figure out what they want to study in college. And I know I always talk with a lot of seniors. They're like, my parents are bugging me. I should know what I want to study in college. Again, doing those general education courses are really beneficial. But you could also do things like an intro to criminal justice or an intro to medical terminology or an intro to business to see if it's something that you like. And in many cases, students figure out it's something that they don't like. And that's just as valuable. So keep that in mind. It's going to help you start to solidify your college plans. And you're going to be able to take coursework that's a little bit more academically challenging, potentially, for you than you would have been able to take here at the high school level. I have a number of students that just do classes, I hate to say for fun, but for personal enrichment. Welding at Lakeland is a phenomenal curriculum. A lot of students do welding or photography or ceramics course. Okay, again, you can do what you want to do through CCP, but it's really important that you understand there's huge benefits to try and get some of those general education courses done and out of the way. Consequences of underperforming. So it's really important, again, this sounds wonderful, and it is. CCP is a great program for the right student, but if you fail or withdraw from a course after the deadline, there's going to be financial implications. So I want to make sure you understand that. So there's a 2-week window to make changes to your schedule after that second week when you go into the third week. If you withdraw from a course or you get to the end of the semester and you fail, you're going to be responsible for paying tuition, fees, and book costs back to your high school because they're the ones that footed the bill if you're unsuccessful. The grades that you earn in a college level course will reside on your high school transcript. They will also follow you on your college transcript forever. So keep in mind, if you're considering doing CCP, go all in. Make sure you're giving it your best effort. I've had students that have decided to come to Lakeland a couple years after they did CCP. Maybe they didn't do very well that very first semester or two that they participated. It can have implications on financial aid down the road if you're going to the same institution. There is also a CCP probation and dismissal policy that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. So the state of Ohio wants students to be successful. There was not a whole lot of guidelines previous to CCP to keep a student from participating. So right now, if your son or daughter does CCP and they fall below a 2.0 GPA, in essence that's a C average, or they withdraw from 2 or more consecutive courses in a semester, they're placed on probation. The following term after being placed on probation, students, you need to only take 1 course. It's very hard to get your GPA above a 2.0 if you're only allowed to take 1 class, and you can't take the class that you were unsuccessful in. So once you get on probation, if you're on probation more than 1 semester and you don't either get your GPA above a 2.0, you are unfortunately dismissed from CCP for 1 semester. If you are dismissed from the CCP program, you're not entitled to take any courses during that following semester. CCP does allow students to petition and appeal their high school for the ability to potentially keep taking classes. That's something that the high school will speak with you about if that happens to your son or daughter. Again, try not to let it happen. That makes it give you flexibility in terms of what you would like to take. Expenses for CCP, we talked about it being pretty much cost-free. It is. If you're going to a public institution or college, tuition fees and books are covered by the district, okay, for anything that is required for the course. Some private institutions do impose an additional fee. I know Lake Erie does not. So if you are looking at a private institution other than Lake Erie, you probably want to check with them to see if there's any additional fees. Now, there are some things that students you're going to need for a class, and I'll use photography for example. Lakeland is not going to buy you, nor is Perry, a camera for that class. Even though it's required for that particular course, it's something that you're going to keep. So that is something that you're going to have to foot the bill for. A calculator for an advanced mathematics course. Those things are not covered under CCP, as well as transportation costs. We're not going to pay you gas mileage to go back and forth to Lakeland if you choose to come to our campus. Anything that's required that's not disposable or kept by the student is covered. CCP books are required to be returned at the end of the semester, and that hopefully will allow us to keep the cost down in Perry High School to not be continually charged for the same textbooks over and over again. Grades, we mentioned this just a minute ago. CCP grades are reported both on your high school transcript and on your college transcript. It's really important that you understand these are advanced courses. These are college level courses. So CCP decided a couple years ago to mandate that if you do a college level course and there is an honors or an AP course available back here at the high school, that the high school is required to weight those equally. So English, for example, I'm sure Perry offers AP English. If you do English at the college level, it'll be weighted on the AP level, okay? Things that are not available on an honors or an AP level here at Perry will not be weighted. I always use a health class or a ceramics class. Those potentially will not be weighted, but a math, a science, a social studies, and English, those are available at the honors or an AP level course here at the high school. They will be weighted at the college level as well. How many classes can students take? CCP allows participation, as I mentioned, 7th through 12th grade. Okay, every year of participation, you're entitled to up to 30 credit hours. It's important that you understand those 30 credit hours, basically, we look at that from summer, fall, and spring for every academic year. But from the 30, we will deduct 3 credit hours for every high school credit that you take here at the high school. So for example, let's say you take band and you take chemistry here at Perry High School. Those are 2 high school credits, multiply that by 3, that's 6, deduct it from the 30. That allows you 24 credit hours of participation in CCP for the academic year. Our academic year starts in the summer. So summer is the first part of your academic year. So summer, fall, and spring, you would be entitled up to 24 college credits. If a student participates part-time, it's rare that they run out of credits. It's much more likely that they run out of credits if they are a full-time CCP student. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Athletic eligibility, it's important that you understand as a CCP student, if you're participating in high school level sports, you still have to remain eligible. Typically that means 4 classes between what you're doing at the high school and what you're doing at the college level. As long as you're in 4 courses every semester, you're typically eligible. If you have any questions, your athletic director or your council will be looking at that. Our advisors at Lakeland look at it as well. It's important, especially football, volleyball, cross country, any fall sports. If you take a class in the summer, that does not count towards your athletic eligibility. For example, if you did a summer class, you could not just be allowed to take 2 classes in the fall. You would still have to do your 4 courses to remain athletically eligible. Summer helps you build your credit count, but it's not counted toward eligibility. I know this is a pretty small screen, but what courses can students take? Basically, I want you to understand, parents and students, we work very closely with Perry High School. So you are never going to take a class at Lakeland that either you don't qualify for or that you're not eligible to take. Perry kind of controls making sure that you meet your high school graduation requirements. Lakeland is going to be taking a look at placing you in a course that you're going to be successful in. Okay, so there's a nice mix of guidance between the 2 advisors to make sure that you're doing the appropriate courses, you're not taking too much, and you're prepared for the courses that you sign up for. There's another guideline, and there's a whole list of courses on Lakeland's website that talks about level 1 courses. The state of Ohio, when CCP was implemented, said if a student's going to participate in this, we want to make sure that they're taking courses that are going to transfer on to another Ohio public college. So those first 15 credit hours that you participate in either must be a transferable course, or there's something technology based. So a lot of students come in and they do IT courses, or they do a foreign language or a science, or they do a study skills class. So those first 15 have to be within those domains when you're registering for classes. Again, Lakeland will make sure that that's happening. Your high school counselors will make sure that's happening as well. What you're not allowed to take, students, are courses that have a very high fee. So Kent State offers a flight program, a pilot program. Okay, very expensive, very cool, not covered under CCP. Lake Erie offers equestrian courses. Okay, you're not allowed to take anything that has a very, very large fee associated with it, or anything that has a one-on-one instruction. So at Lakeland, we have private music lessons, which there's additional fee over and above the credit count that you pay to the instructor. Those are not covered under CCP as well. Study abroad courses, any classes pass-fail, anything that's remedial. Remember way back when we talked about college readiness. You need to qualify and be considered a college level student in English to participate. if you don't qualify in English, you're not eligible to go back and do a remedial English class to qualify. That's not something that's part of this program. Physical education courses. I have a number of students that the last thing in the world they want to do is to do a high school level gym class at all. They would love to do anything but that. CCP used to cover gym classes. Right now they say you can still take a gym class at Lakeland or Lake Erie or Kent. CCP will not cover it. So if you want to take yoga or archery or self-defense with us, you're more than welcome to do that. The high school will give you high school gym credit. CCP will not cover it. Okay? Math courses at Lakeland, it's really important. We've talked a little bit about college readiness and English, and we're going to go into detail on that in just a moment. But at Lakeland, to take a math course, you need to have completed Algebra 2. Okay, so if you're in Algebra 2 now and you want to do potentially college level math, you can be assessed and see if you pass our assessment exam, you might qualify for college level math with us or at Lake Erie or at Kent. You not only have to have completed Algebra 2 prior to taking the class, you need to also test into college level mathematics. So a couple other things we want to just touch base on. Decision points. We've talked about high school graduation requirements. It's super important, students, parents. That's the #1 goal with you as a high school student. You need to graduate from high school. I'm sure we would all agree with that. We want to make sure that that happens. I think the other decision points that you need to think about if you're considering CCP is, do I want to go full-time or do I want to go part-time? Remember I said 80% of the students participate part-time. I will tell you up through 11th grade, most students do participate part-time. Okay, once you get into 12th grade, if you've done a little bit throughout the program when you were in 10th and 11th grade, you might consider going full-time in 12th grade. You can mix it up. Okay, you don't there's no strict guidelines about when and how you decide to go full-time or part-time. I want to make sure you understand, however, that if you're an athlete here at Perry High School, it's really important that if you're going to split your day, you end your day at Perry. For your practices and your games and your matches, it makes sense for you to be here at the end of the day. Again, we talked about a number of students graduating from Lakeland as a high school student. If that is your ultimate goal, we can make that happen for you. But that's not what everybody decides to do CCP for. That's a great accomplishment, but it's not for everyone. You know, hopefully you can walk out of Lakeland or Lake Erie or Kent with a much better idea academically what you might want to study in college and get some general education courses out of the way. CCP students have a couple different pathways. At Lakeland, if you do 15 credit hours, you've completed a half a year of college. If you do 30, it's an entire year of college. So what does that do for you as a college student once you transfer over to a 4-year institution? If you walk in with 15 credit hours, your very first year in college, you don't have to be taking 5 or 6 classes. You can do 4 and still graduate on time. It gives you a little bit of flexibility with that. It allows you, if unfortunately you decide to change your major, you've got a little bit of credits under your belt that's not going to extend your stay potentially with your institution much longer. If you do an entire year, you could graduate early. You could double major. You could study abroad. It's giving you a number of opportunities just by trying to look at either the 15 or the 30 credit hour cap. We talk to students all the time, and Jamie Deemer's in the audience. She's a CCP coordinator at Lakeland. Jamie, Stephanie, and I work very closely with students. We always ask them, you know, what are you thinking about studying in college? As a 10th and 11th grader, that's a very scary question. As a 12th grader, you may have a better idea, but you typically know, do you like math and science or do you not? Typically, you know that answer. And if you're like, oh, anything but math and science, we'll make sure that you're still doing your general education courses, but picking the appropriate math and sciences to try and get those out of the way so when you transfer on, those are done and completed and you can focus on your college major. CCP courses at Perry this year, like I said, we have a number of courses. We did offer public speaking, composition 1 and 2. We offered video 1 and 2, psychology, Spanish, humanities, sociology, and some Cisco networking courses. So again, a wide variety of offerings. Again, probably other than Mentor High School, Perry has the most course offerings here at the high school. Will my credits transfer? This is a question that I hear a lot. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I think people have in their mind, if they go to community colleges, those courses don't always transfer. The courses that you're going to be doing through Lakeland Community College are guaranteed to transfer to any Ohio public college. So the likely question you're going to ask is, what if I don't go to a school in Ohio? If you stay basic and you stay within the transfer module, those are still very likely to transfer. I can't give you my 100% guarantee, but I will tell you that we will work with the schools that you might be considering transferring to help you figure out right off the bat if those courses are going to transfer. I was talking to, where was I at last night? West Yaga. I have a student, a parent came up to me after the presentation and said, my daughter is going to Cornell. Okay, Cornell's pretty Ivy League, and she said they took every single thing that she completed at Lakeland. She's graduating from Lakeland. She's starting as a junior at Cornell. That was remarkable. We've had students go to Washington University, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Again, if you think you're going out of state, keep in mind we will help you with that transition, but we don't want you to be blindsided. If you're going in Ohio, you're going to Ohio State or Youngstown or Toledo or Kent or Akron, I can guarantee you those courses are going to transfer. The tricky part that you have to keep in mind is, let's say you did all your general education courses, but then you've decided I'm going to go pre-med. Okay, you may have to not necessarily repeat courses, but take higher level courses in a certain area, for example, biology. Okay, they want you to do Principles of Biology 1 and 2, Microbiology, and Anatomy 1 and 2. If you did cell biology at Lakeland without a lab, they're going to transfer that in as a science course, but it may not meet the core requirements for the program that you've decided to pursue. Okay, and that shouldn't be a surprise to you, but again, we'll help you with that. And any literature, any material that you might need to send to that respective school for them to make a decision will certainly assist you with that. There's a really good website. It's called transferology.com. I encourage you, if you take a picture of any screen tonight, take a picture of that one. Take a look at that. That's going to show you the courses that you're doing here at Perry or at Lakeland or Lake Erie or at Kent, how those courses are going to transfer across the state. It's a really nice document, a nice website to see how those things are going to work for you. So the next piece of this, specifically about Lakeland, is how you participate. Students are going to have to sign on to Lakeland's website, and you're going to hit the apply button. Okay, it's an online application. We need to know who you are. To start this process, it's extremely critical that you do that first. Even if you change your mind down the road, that's fine, that's perfectly acceptable, but we need to be able to track you throughout the process. So Lakeland, you're going to apply online. There's a couple other steps. The other schools that are present tonight, you want to sit down and talk to them to find out specifically what you need to do to get the process rolling for them. It's really important that you understand each of the colleges have the final decision with how and if you qualify to be part of their CCP program. So on Lakeland's website, at the very bottom, so you're going to click apply. At the very bottom, it says College Credit Plus. That's your student type. So if you're applying to Lakeland, that's what you want to make sure that you select. The other thing that's really important that you understand, we've talked about college readiness. So we need to assess that you are college ready. We will utilize an ACT, an SAT exam. If you're 8th, 9th, 10th grade, you haven't taken that. If you're 11th grader, you still haven't taken it. You will be taking it this spring. So if you haven't had those particular assessments completed, you can come out to Lakeland and take what we call the ACCUPLACER. It's an exam to assess your ability to be successful in a college level course. We're assessing your readiness in English if you have not completed Algebra 2, English only. If you have completed Algebra 2 and you're thinking about doing math at Lakeland, you'll do both English and mathematics. So our readiness scale, this is actually set by the state of Ohio. ACT verbal score of an 18, okay, that considers you college ready at Lakeland Community College. SAT of a 480 or above, and an ACCUPLACER writing exam of a 263. Those are the qualifiable scores. Taking ACCUPLACER at Lakeland is something that's really important, and we want to make sure that your son or daughter is prepared. And on the Lakeland table, there's a prep document that talks about all the different free resources that your son or daughter can participate in. Students, don't come to Lakeland to take that test without preparing in advance. It is a free exam. We offer the writing assessment for ACCUPLACER. Like I said, there is a math exam. We only encourage you to take that if you've completed Algebra 2. The test itself is about an hour, hour and a half. It is mandatory that you bring picture identification with you. A driver's license sufficient. Perry High School ID is sufficient. If you're a 7th or 8th grader, you have neither of those items. Okay, so it's going to be important that you print off on Lakeland's website. There's a form that you can print off, and your high school counselor or your middle school counselor will sign it, verifying who you are. You'll bring that document with you to actually take the placement exam. Passports are also acceptable. No calculators are going to be available to you. No outside calculators. There's a calculator built on the exam that you'll be utilizing. Okay, once you've applied to Lakeland, you're going to prepare and know how the ACCUPLACER is going to look and what kinds of questions are going to be asked of you. You will then sign up to take the ACCUPLACER on Lakeland's website. Students have 2 attempts initially to take and pass the exam. Okay? After the second exam, if you're not successful, you must participate in one of these assessment prep sessions that Lakeland offers. Before you'll be allowed to do it a 3rd time, you have to either come on campus or to do one of the online review sessions. That's a mandatory requirement. Students, you must pass this exam within 3 attempts. If you don't, then you must wait an entire semester to try and be reassessed again. So that's why it's so important that you prepare for the test in advance. This is all the stuff I just said. So again, all of the information is on that handout that we have on our table. So please make sure that you do that. The 3rd step is to request your transcript. Please understand, students, you're applying online to Lakeland. You're coming and taking our placement assessment. The high school has no idea that you've decided to participate in CCP. It's super important that you let them know, let your counselor know so they can send us a transcript. Students that are qualified, that if they're college ready, they've sent their transcript, and they've applied, we'll send them acceptance packet both in the mail and online so that you will be prepared to take the final step, which is attending an orientation session with us. Students and parents, you are required to be present, to sign up for courses. There's another little mini orientation that we'll work with. We do one physically here at Perry, and that is for all the courses that are just offered here at Perry High School, so we don't make you come out to campus. Students, if you plan on doing an online class or coming to Lakeland for at least one class, you must physically come out to us to attend the orientation. Again, it's very important that you do all of these steps earlier versus later so that you're not missing some of the first orientations that occur on our campus. So tonight is the information session. So check, you've done that. You want to make sure that you apply online, prepare for the ACCUPLACER, take the assessment test, get your high school transcripts, and then your intent to participate form is due to Perry High School no later than April 1st. That is available in the counseling office. They said they'll have them there for you to pick up along with some other material. That deadline is important. You want to make sure that you don't miss the opportunity to participate. And then, of course, attend a CCP information or CCP orientation session. We do have a Twitter account, and if you have any questions, when we physically come out to Perry to work with students between semesters to help them get prepared for the next semester. So we will send out a reminder to all students along with an email and a mailing to remind them we're going to be on campus, we're going to sit down and help you pick your classes for the next semester, and along with other deadlines and so forth. We're going to do questions in just a few minutes after Kent speaks. Here are all the different contexts on our campus. There's a lot of us that work with CCP students. Again, I'm Tracy Cooper. Jamie Deemer is out at the table. Stephanie Brown will be working with students as well. Okay, and I think Kent is going to come up and do their part of the presentation, then we'll open the floor for questions.
All right. Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Valerie Gonzalez. I am the admissions counselor at Kent State Ashtabula. I work with CCP students, and I'm also recruiting Lake County and Ashtabula County. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my campus before you go today. So some facts about Kent State Ashtabula. We are a relatively small campus. We have 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. The average class size is 14 students. We have about 2,500 students on our campus. We have 15 bachelor's degrees, 17 associate degrees, and we are in the Kent system, so you can begin coursework for any of the 280 degrees available at Kent State University at regional campus tuition. We do offer scholarships. I just wanted to mention the merit academic scholarships for the graduates. The CCP students actually get bumped up a tier if they come to us as new freshmen. So they'll get their regular merit for their GPA, and then they get a CCP bump. Get involved at KSUA as a Kent State student. When you are doing CCP with us, you are a Kent State student, so you can get involved with any of the organizations on our campus, and these are just the active ones as of this semester. Take advantage of valuable student services. Again, you are a Kent State student, you would have access to the library both online and in person. The IT help desk, advisors, and faculty will not see you as a CCP student, they'll see you as a college student. We offer career services, and we have the Barnes & Noble bookstore on our campus. So just to keep in mind, the deadlines to apply, which Lakeland did go over, and application materials. We also have a completely online application page. You would then turn in the CCP permission form, high school transcript, and ACT or SAT scores. We also have the ACCUPLACER placement exam on our campus. Registration is on our webpage as well. All right, and that's it.
We're just going to open it up to any questions you may have. We have a Lake Erie representative out front at the table. I don't think he came inside, but he is out front. So go ahead, ask any questions.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? If you just want to raise your hand and we'll, yeah.
You need to coordinate that. So basically, you need to be admitted first. So it's probably not a bad idea to talk to your high school counselor so they know what you're thinking about taking. Would you not?
That's a good idea. Then we have an idea of making a schedule. It's going to be time to, we're going to be having a big meeting February 4th soon to kick off scheduling in the evening. It helps if you sit down with Mrs. Holderman or myself, depending on who your child's counselor is, or middle school counselor, Miss Needham, and to go over what your child's thinking, what the plans might be, but then go from there, whichever.
Applying at that point.
Yeah.
So it's really important, like I said, we want to get everything done, and I know the high school does, before they leave for the summer. You know what I'm saying? In May, that should be the very end of the cycle to get everything squared away. So, you know, if they're thinking about it now, fill out the intent, go ahead and apply online to any of the schools you're thinking about, take the assessment exam, talk to your high school counselor. Your real target should be early spring, to try and get everything done and out of the way. Good question. Yes.
How do we know what classes are offered at Perry and which ones are at Lakeland? Is there a resource site or?
If you take a look on Lakeland Schedule Viewer, so if you go to lakelandcc.edu, that's our basic homepage, and from that point, underneath the admissions link is schedule. You can take a look and it'll show everything that we have at Lakeland, but on the campus, you can pick Perry High School as a campus. It'll show you specifically what courses are here at Perry, and then the rest of them are on our campus. Yes, that's a good question as well. That list is what we've been offering for the last 3 years
Right.
or so.
And sometimes we try to offer more, and it just depending on how many students sign up, we do sometimes have to cancel them. We try to run American Sign Language. We try to run a second section of elementary Spanish, as well as an economics course. It just depends on numbers. The registration guide will probably have it, the registration guide coming out in a week or two should have it in there as well, and our website. Any other questions? If not, if you want to speak with the specific representatives from the colleges, they'll be back out front or right here. But Lake Erie is still here. They're out front, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
When you smile, does the whole world smile with you? Dr. Rusty Albrecht, Dr. Chandis Richards, and Dr. London Albrecht are committed to improving your smile. At Albrecht Family Dentistry, we can handle all your dental needs, including dental implants, crowns, dentures, partials, relines, extractions, root canals, veneers, tooth whitening, and clear braces. Don't let anything stand between you and the smile that you've always wanted. Call 440-358-0495.